Tell you what, I'm getting bloody sick and tired of this slow-ass internet. It's been bloody slow for the last couple of days, and I'm not entirely sure why. I don't have a great deal of knowledge with, like, wireless signals or anything like that, so I couldn't possibly tell you if it was just a matter of the increased humidity in the atmosphere or whatever the hell just interfering with Wi-Fi signals or something like that. Like, I have no idea, but it's been uncharacteristically slow for the last couple of days, and by uncharacteristically I mean it's normally slow just by definition because of the area that I'm in, because we don't actually have fiber internet yet, and apparently they are just really indecisive about when this area is getting it, because they said we're not getting it until the first half of 2019, and then they said we're not getting it, and then they like said we're getting it in the first half of 2018. And I think now they've just decided to freaking push us back a year again and say, no, you're not getting it till 2019. So, I'm just sort of taking any sort of news in that regard with a pinch of salt, because I'm a bit sick and tired of being fucked around like that. I mean, it could just as easily be just a result of the inclement weather just keeping everybody in. But again, I don't have that much knowledge in regards to what actually affects Wi-Fi signals or anything like that. I'm not a whale biologist, I don't know these things. So, that's just that little random rant out of the way. In the meantime, I don't see much reason to not bring up the dowsing machine while I'm in here. And then immediately switch it back off, because that's what you have to do when you freaking go up here. Uh-oh. Item. Oh yeah, I can reach it. Okay. Yeah, this is slightly confusing. I'm not really paying too much attention to it, so... And like I said, it was going to be very, very boring to traverse this cave, just because there's literally no trainers in it. The only thing that I can say for certain, though, is that this area does have a different layout than it originally did. Unlike Victory Road before it, this place is just completely and utterly changed, and Lord knows where you'd be able to find shit, so... I'm just sort of waltzing around in here, trying to work out where the hell I can grab shit. Looks like I've got a lot of rock climbing stuff that needs to be done, so I guess I'm going to be coming back here later on. I can't get that item, whatever the hell that is. No signal or anything like that from what I can gather. Well, it was just one a little bit earlier, but I'm not too sure where that's centered from. I think I might be about done with the exploring of this cave anyway, because, yeah, there's the exit. Can I get over there somehow? Yes, I can. Okay, cool. Guess I'll just go through here, work out what else needs to be done, and then just sort of put that off for Lord knows how long. I mean, most of it is, as I said, with rock climb stuff, so I can't get that until I've got all the badges, so... I guess we're just not going to do a whole lot, and I'm just going to go ahead and ignore the phone that just went off there. Which actually brings up an interesting point, as this schmuck frickin' fights me. Switch this other phone off, because it keeps getting harassed by phone calls from some frickin' place that I inadvertently signed up to frickin' donate to the other day. It was... Ugh. I just sort of kind of was a bit of an idiot and sort of fell into it. So... from what I've heard, it is apparently quite easy to just, like, stop, stop with the support or anything like that. But apparently the whole thing doesn't freaking start until April. I don't know what the hell it is. It's some kind of, like, nature conservancy thingamabob. I don't know. that conversation just sort of petered out into absolute nothingness. So... I'll just sort of sort that out at my own leisure, I guess. I guess it's a good thing is some of the trainers just out here are just like hikers and stuff like that I can easily deal with what I've got, because I tried to work out which two I needed the least so that I can replace them with the Rotom, and I didn't necessarily need the Tropius, but Rock Smash got me a hidden max potion while I was down there, so I figured that was worthwhile. It's 2,500 less cash stack that I have to shell out for shit like this. And what do you got? More Yeah, just some more berries, I imagine. Alright, I don't want to go down that way. I think I want to go in this direction, see if there's any other trainers. This area is a lot rockier than it was in Fire Red and Leaf Green. It just used to be a patch of, like, grass or whatever in this area. And I think there used to be just a random bush in red, blue, and yellow, and its sole purpose was to just hide an item. So, that's cool. What do you have? You have Quagsire. Do you have anything that's super effective against Bulbat? Nope. So in that case, I'm just going to go ahead and put this thing to sleep and set up a Nasty Plot Sweep. Oh, you prick. No, we're not going to have any of that. No, fuck you. That is fucking mean. That's fucking cruel. Oh my god, what? I just got +4 special attack and an Air Slash isn't even a 2 KO. That is some bullshit. Why do you have a cup? Right, switching out. You can just go fuck yourself. That was far more annoying than it had any remote right to be. That was bullshit. I don't understand what it is with the trainers and their Pokemon in Kanto, but they just, for some reason, pull out bullshit like that. And if I had a rock type, this is where I'd be somewhat cheerful that I managed to get the rock polish TM. But that would be completely and utterly just sort of thrown by the wayside by the fact that I am now in Lavender Town. And if I talk to, I think, this schmuck, and he will give you the expansion card for the Pokegear. This allows me to tune into radio programs here in Kanto. And so, as a direct result of this, we have Meridian and Pastoral Sound in the Kanto region. Who fucking ray? Oh, the times are good now. And I don't think yeah. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to really show off in this radio tower, because there's just this guy that sort of blocks you from... Yeah, just kind of blocks you from doing anything of any real significance. So, that used to be the Pokemon Tower, now it's just a radio tower, and the cemetery sort of style building is now just this tiny little piddly-ass thing. I wonder if the spooky plate's in here somewhere. Uh-huh. That's cool. Okay, I think this gets us the plate. Not too sure. Yeah, there we go. There's the spooky plate. I figured this would be where you'd get it. So, there's the spooky plate down and out of the way. I wonder how many, plates I've got now. So, well, there's 3. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plates. Okay, so we're more than halfway through that, which is quite nice. We're making some decent progress. I know I can get at least maybe 1 or 2 more in Johto. I can't quite remember where they are, because, like, I can go and get Ho-Oh now, as I've mentioned earlier, and on the way to Ho-Oh there is actually a fire plate. The flame plate, I think it's called. Just sort of on the way there, and so you can just sort of do that. I believe I now have access to a lot more of the Kanto region now, because I can go and get Snorlax now if I want to. Because if you... Yeah, if you just sort of tune it up here, you can use the Poke Flute sound, and that opens... That wakes the Snorlax up. I could probably go and do that now, because I don't really plan on doing a whole lot else, other than just going in this direction. Because I want to know if I can get to Saffron City now. If I can't, then I'm going to need to go down to Fuchsia. And that's going to involve a whole lot of trainer battles. Because there's a whole lot of areas that I haven't actually really fully explored yet, and I'm going to need to do a whole bunch of trainer battles in those areas. So I'll go through these ones just because I want to move onward and see if I can get to Saffron. Because if I can get to Saffron, if I can get into Saffron, then I can just move across there to get to Celadon, and then probably just do a bit of exploring over there. Otherwise, I'm going to need to go down the bloody watery path, and I may just end up freaking speeding that up and just sort of cutting that out and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure about that, so... yeah, get up a nasty plot, another Sludge Bomb will kill it with that boost. Okay, that was pretty good. 12,000 just... And that was just base cash stack. If I had a... thingy in the lead, Trap Tricks, that would have been a lot better. Rindo Berries, but Babiri, okay. I think Charlin Berries are like the ones that, yeah, I think these are the ones that they're weaken a foe's normal type attack, and with all the other ones, it has to be super effective. I mentioned this a little bit in, like, yesterday's segment, I think it was. I'm not too sure, but, yeah, normal is not super effective against anything. Also, these frickin' citrus berry plants haven't even grown flowers, let alone frickin' things. Not that I have any real reason to care that greatly for them, but whatever. I kind of wonder if I should actually give the fertilizer a go. I'm not too sure where I'd get that anyway, so whatever. Is there anything else I really feel like doing? Okay. Whatever. Okay, I think we're about done. Random Tent, that's the name rater for this region, so if you don't want to go back to Johto, you can just sort of talk to him to change your nicknames. Obviously, I have no real reason to do that, so we're just gonna put our HM slaves away here. Except only one of them counts as a HM slave. But put those away, get the other two team members out, and we'll just go ahead and mess around with the rest of the trainers in this route while I talk about the next Pokemon playthrough of the day. So let me just quickly pause this, open this up, and then move all the way down here. And on this team collection display, this is actually the second last team that I have to talk about, but I know I've got at least 2 other playthroughs to talk about, like after this one and the one that comes after it, which is at the very bottom of the team display here. So there's still a couple left, but we are very much close to the end of the discussion here. So as I mentioned, I think I've mentioned this like twice or 3 times, but Bylade is completely walled by like steel types. So we're just going to say no to that. It's a good thing I've opted for the fire over the ground here, because the ground would have been completely useless. But this is my first legitimate playthrough of... Oh, wait. No, I derped again. I once again mistook my Pirated Moon playthrough for my Sun playthrough. So yeah, this actually is the last playthrough that I can actually look at on the team collection display thing here and actually like get an idea of, because it's the last one on this list. But I think there's only like 2 more playthroughs after that, so yeah, so much for that. So anyways, this is my Sun playthrough. This is on cartridge. I got these when they on the midnight there. Let me try that again. I got Sun and Moon on the midnight release. Both cartridges. I got the collector's edition thing that came with the steel books and the badges thing, which are just sitting on a display to the back left of me or whatever direction. And so I went with Sun first because I'd already done Moon, and I kind of liked Solgaleo better than Lunala anyway, even though Lunala is by far the better of the 2 legendaries. So for my starter here, I went with the Litten. This one I nicknamed Not Yusei. The reason I nicknamed it Not Yusei is because when it evolves into Incineroar, its hair is very much similar to that of Yusei's from 5Ds. And so I just decided, instead of just sort of... I could have easily named it after like a wrestler or something like that. And as a side note, I do actually like how this thing is categorized as the heal Pokemon. Heal being like a fan term for like a quote-unquote bad person or whatever in like if you're watching WWE or anything like that. But whatever. I haven't really been watching that on an active basis since like 2003 or something like that, so I sort of lost interest in it not too long after the whole frickin' invasion angle and whatnot, so yeah, stuck with this. I was quite happy to find that it learned Leech Life. If you haven't actually played Sun and Moon yet, and you're probably wondering why the hell would you give this thing Leech Life, it's the weakest as shit move. It is no longer a weak move. It's actually been given probably the biggest buff of any Pokemon move in the entire game. It's gone from a 20 power move to base 80. And since it obviously is a more physical, like healing type, just sort of hit the opponent with damage and then heal them, it actually makes it really damn good. And so obviously some movesets have been changed up to sort of accommodate this. Like for example, Zubat at like an early level, it used to have the ability, it used to have Leech Life. Instead of having Leech Life now, because it's just such a powerful move, it's now got Absorb. So a lot more Pokemon have access to Absorb, whereas they would have had Leech Life in earlier generations. Also, what is that? 8 question marks and weaker than like 14 question marks. Do you want to explain what the fuck is going on right now, okay? The hell was that? That was amazing. Jesus Christ. Okay. That was probably a worthwhile just sort of, I don't know, theme to just sort of detract from the topic of discussion. It's just, okay, let's have some more glitchy names. Kind of reminds me of the Porygon you get from the random schmuck in the Celadon Game Corner in Fire and Omega. That was kind of excellent. But, anyhow, will you get through? Sweet. Oh, damn it, they're both confused. Shit. I forgot Teeter Dance was an area of effect attack. Oh well, got through it anyway. Haha. God's sake. Alright. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to go ahead and grab whatever it is that this schmuck has got for me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fly back to New Barktown right now. I do not give a shit if this is like unprofessional or anything. You should have expected this from me. I'm just going to go ahead and withdraw that juicy cash stack from my mother right now, because I'm getting sick and tired of getting all these berries. They're pointless. All the unique items anyway are just, we've already got them, so there's not much point in keeping this a thing. 4-3, confirm, change, no. Stop wasting my time. Thank you. What's my total cash stack right now? Over 500,000. I'm about right now. I could have sworn I was struggling for cash stack at some point in the playthrough. I don't know. Maybe it was a figment of my imagination. Anyhow. Okay, 18 minutes in, so I should probably hurry the fuck up and sort of knock this over, because I don't want another 50-minute segment. So, I will probably just, like, do a sped-up section of me going down the, eastern routes, if it turns out that I have to go down that way to get to Fuchsia City or something like that. Oh god, gotta put the Tropius back again. Wasting even more time. Stupid thing. There you go. Okay. So, yeah. The Incineroar got Leech Life, it had Darkest Lariat, it had, I think, like, Flare Blitz, and I think it had, like, a fighting move, I can't remember. It would only make sense for it too. So the next Pokemon I used was an Alolan Executor. I evolved it as soon as I had the opportunity to get a Leaf Stone, like bought one from the shop or something like that towards the end of the second island, because by that time I had already gotten as many of the moves as I possibly could for, like, as an Execute, that it would actually make, that it'd be fine to evolve it into Executor. So I rolled with that, and I was quite happy. I can't remember if it actually kept a Psychic move on its set. I think it might have shifted to be more of a physical type attacker once it evolved, but overall it was quite good. So I think the only problem it had was just its slow speed, and this actually got it screwed over on a few occasions where you wouldn't have thought so, because as is sort of the case for me usually, I like catching everything I find in regular Pokeballs, and so I did the same thing with the Ultra Beasts, and the Ultra Beasts have like a 0.1, like any ball that you use on them that isn't a beast ball, I want to say like cuts the catch rate in like down to like a 1/10 of its original value or something like that. I can't quite remember. I don't think it was ever actually confirmed anywhere. If it is, then by all means let me know, so I just know that for a fact. But catching most of the UBs was absolute arse to do. Like, I even had trouble catching Kartana, which has a base catch rate of 255, and so if you weakened it and paralyzed it, you'd just be able to catch it in the first Pokeball normally, but it still didn't work like that. Anyway, it's going to hit this thing with a Thunder Wave, because I did notice that this thing has tried to Destiny Bond here, and it just decided to try to take me down anyway by blowing itself up, which ended in complete failure. So, rip in pepperoni. You're just using a whole bunch of, like, generic bulky, like, poison types that not many people like to use. Although, to be fair, Alolan Muck is kind of cool. I'm using an Alolan Grimer in my Moon playthrough, which I'll be talking about in possibly tomorrow's segment, who knows. In terms of this actual playthrough, the next team member I want to talk about is my Vaporeon. Oh yeah, I actually named the Executor, I named it Trunker, after the random palm tree that's starved of food, of water in the Gobi's... Apologies once again. Let me try that again. The name that I... Wait, what? Okay, that's stupid. I kind of forgot that this was here, and so I thought, okay, well, I might as well just go in here, but no, it's actually locked. It's just... I just remembered. This underground path is actually locked out. You're actually locked out of this. You can't go through it. Like, this is even this is just the case normally anyway, because you wouldn't normally ever need to go through that direction anyway, because Saffron City would just be accessible to you just as it is. And so as a result, you just sort of go through Saffron if you wanted to get to Celadon. As a result, though, because Saffron is still inaccessible, I do actually have to go down the sea route in order to get to Fuchsia. I'd probably do some stuff over there and then go up to Celadon and grab the badge from there. Probably go back to Fuchsia to grab the badge from there. So on this occasion, I'm not too sure what the go is with the pathing on this occasion, but yeah, my commentary has just sort of gone down the drain here. But in regards to Trunker's nickname, the nickname came from the random palm tree that was just sort of lacking water in the Gobi's Valley level in Banjo-Kazooie. I don't know why the hell I was having a freaking aneurysm trying to just say that, but apparently that's just the way my brain works. I probably should have had some lunch before I did this segment, but whatever. I wanted to get this out of the way as quickly as I could, because I did a very shitty job with yesterday's segment, didn't even proof watch it all the way. But anyhow, through the save state there, switch the thing on, and now we have us a Tubby Lord. Who remembers the Snorlax that I used all the way back in that Hard Gold playthrough, which I named Tubby Lord? I'm not too sure if, okay, well that's kind of annoying. I was expecting it to have rest, but Slack Off is actually even worse, because Slack Off doesn't require a sleep or anything like that. It also has leftovers, which I kind of expected it as much. Oh, okay. I'll keep Turbo Drum in for now, because I should be right to catch it as is, except it just slacked off again. And there goes Giga Impact. Well, at least I know this turn it's not going to be able to get in an attack, so I'll try to Kaizen Thunderbolt? Okay, that should be right. Try this again. Nope. Keep spamming that attack. Double Edge might not be so bad, but to keep spamming Slack Off instead and just sort of causing general disruption. Yeah, freezing up from paralysis is nice. Catching it, though, would just be sort of the icing on the cake here. Nope. Fuck, I hate when I get a black screen like this. I was told that the black screen only happened if you loaded a save state that you made in a cave or something like this. I'm quite clearly outdoors. That's some bullshit right there. But apparently we just don't have much of a choice but to deal with it. So let's get this frickin' shit going over and over again, and hopefully I'll be able to catch it. If I fail on this attempt, which just happened because of a critical hit, I'm just going to go ahead and cut until I've caught it. So, that is exactly what I will be doing. I will return, and then I will discuss the next team member, which was the Vaporeon in question. Well, it was about damn fucking time. This idiot made me white out at least once. Fucking prick of a thing. What the hell is this thing's catch rate again? I'm pretty damn sure it's 45. Come on. Show it off. No, that's not what I want. Pet, come off it. Yeah, there's that internet being an absolute arsehole. Okay, it's 25. I stand corrected. It actually is genuinely difficult to freaking catch, but not as difficult to catch as a legendary. I think that's the sort of point there. God damn it, that thing was a freaking arsehole. Yeah, pro tip, if you're gonna paralyze a Snorlax, don't fucking bother, because I got so much more success putting the damn thing to sleep than I did freaking paralyzing it. I'll tell you that right freaking now. Thank Christ. Anyhow, I'm going to get rid of the rest of these trainers while I talk about the Vaporeon. This one was named Arqua, spelled A-R-Q-U-A. This name was inspired from the name of a weird fishman character thing that made a very minor appearance in a filler episode of Dragon Ball Z. You may know him as the random schmuck that was able to generate a perpetual cube of water over the frickin' Afterlife tournament frickin' ring. It was very, very weird. Yeah, it was very, very weird, and when he generated that, he had the advantage over Goku until Goku just solar flared him and then launched a Kamehameha and frickin' blasted him out of the ring and won the match. Which was kind of cool, because outside the water, he literally could not do jack shit. So, it was kind of hilarious. So I decided, fuck it, I might as well name Vaporeon afterward. It kind of looks a bit like Arqua. And I've been wanting to use Vaporeon for quite a while, and this thing was every bit as good as I expected it to be. I know I say that for a lot of Pokemon, but one of the nice little things about Vaporeon is that it had access to Acid Armor, which was just this random move that I had never actually tried on anything before, and thought, well, you know what, I'll give it a bit of a go and see how this actually, see what all the hype is about. It turned out to be a pretty damn decent physical wall as a result, because it had naturally high amounts of HP, as you would expect from a Vaporeon. The other thing I quite liked is its type coverage, not just by having Surf and Ice Beam, but also for Shadow Ball. There's a nice, just a random little fact, all of the evolutions can actually get, is there anybody near here? Okay. I can actually go into this house in that case. Let me just quickly go back, because I gotta go and pick something up. But yeah, all the evolutions can learn Shadow Ball, so anything that specializes in, like, physical attacking, or special attacking, can get a really good bonus out of it. I don't think I ever actually gave leftovers to any of my Pokemon, because I know I got at least one. I think I got it from, like, the Munchlax that I caught Lord knows how long ago. But I gotta see how many of them I actually have. Where is it? Yeah, there's 2 leftovers. I don't know why I'm not giving one of these to, like... I think Floofin is happy with the Muscle Band. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Because, like, if I had a really, really bulky Mon, then I'd give it the thing to that, but... I guess I don't really have much reason to give it to anything. whatever. So what we want to do is we want to take 2 team members out here. And we want to go in here and we want to grab out the Charmander. Okay, well, guys, we're going to have to take another one out. Alright, so we've got 2 free slots. We've got our Charmander. You've pretty much already put 2 and 2 together by this point, and so when we just sort of put that on, skip over all the Pokemon in there, go down here, go into this house. This is normally where you would get the Super Rod if you were playing the original versions of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Gold and Silver before that. Instead, when you walk in here, you just find Oak. So, let me just go ahead and shut up here for a minute.
Oh, hello there. Here is a present for you. Wait, you were close.
Whoops. Once again, I forget about the fact that Charmander needs to be up the front for this.
Oh, hello there. Here is a present for you. Oh.
And so, he will give you the other 2 Kanto starters if you show him the one that you got earlier on in the playthrough.
See you.
Don't know what the go is with this freaking secret retreat or whatever, but I guess it works. I mean, there is a thing, there's like a sink in a stove and whatnot there, so he could survive here. So, as with the Sinnoh starters before these, they come with just random berries. And in this case, it actually makes sense because you get the Kanto starter at level 10 and the other 2 come at level 10. So, Timid Nature is actually freaking beastly for a Bulbasaur, especially if you get one with... This one doesn't have Chlorophyll, but if you had a Chlorophyll Bulbasaur, Timid would be freaking beast for it. That is damn awesome. So, with that side thing out of the way, I'll just sort of move on to the next team member. I think I've already talked at great length about Vaporeon here, so let me quickly just sort of do this. I will sort those out a little bit later, put the Snorlax in there, grab that out, leave Glaceon there, I guess, because there's actually not a whole lot for me to do right now, so only thing I can really see myself doing is knocking over the trainers on Route 6, because I'm probably just going to do a sped up section, knocking over all the eastern route trainers on my way to Fuchsia City next time, and then probably sort out what I'm going to do over there once I'm done with that. But in the meantime, I guess I'll just end the segment with these. Once I go and heal Bulback, because she for some reason has copped a bit of a hiding, and don't know where she copped the hiding from, but whatever. So, wait, what? I already fought you? Okay, did I fight you? Okay, apparently I've already fought all these trainers. Well, that sucks. That kind of just means I'm out of material, and I've still got 3 team members to talk about here. Shit. Okay, I guess we'll get started with the freaking seaside trainers then. That was some kind of annoying, but whatever. Might see how far I can get, and then just sort of start the next segment with the sped up part and whatever. You'll find out about that as I, like, upload and, I don't know. Yeah, there goes my commentary once again. Whatever. Moving on to the Vikavolt. Unlike a lot of people, I decided to evolve my Charger Bug on this occasion. I didn't change its name though. I gave it a name. I know I gave it one name and then I changed it to the name that it's currently got. I can't quite remember what the original name was though. I know it had something to do with Bus. Oh, no, I remember what I named it now. The first name I gave to it was Radbug, and Radbug is a reference to the just random Volkswagen that the Power Rangers had access to that could go from 0 to 3,000 in like half a second or some shit. Which was very ironic because the entirety of this line is very, very slow. Like, even the Vikavolt, you'd think that that's pretty damn quick. It's got like a base 45 speed. It's pathetic. That's probably the one thing I can tell you I genuinely hate about Vikavolt, is just how freaking slow it is when it doesn't have any real right to be as slow as it is. But yeah, I named it Radbug, and then I was just sort of sitting around, and then it just sort of occurred to me that there was a far, far better name, and I stuck with it. And so I named it Bus Ted. I can tell you right now that Jish approves of this because I told him about it, and he said it was just freaking... He was greatly approving of it. He said it was an excellent name for a Charger Bug. Obviously, it's not a Charger Bug now because it evolved. But I stuck with it. It's a nice little pun name, so I figured that sort of got the positive vibes going around or whatever. But, yeah. It's a freaking excellent name. The one pro tip I will say, if you're going to evolve your Charger Bug into a Vikavolt, definitely have some special attacks ready. Because Charger Bug is a much more physical-based attacker, and then when it becomes Vikavolt, its offenses just sort of gear more towards special attacking, so I think it does get like either Bug Buzz or like an electric attack as soon as it evolves, regardless of what level it evolves from. But if you can get your hands on like a Thunderbolt TM, I think I gave mine Flash Cannon as well. It's a nice little bit of type coverage, which I thought was pretty damn cool. And so overall, aside from the lack of speed, it did what it set out to do, and it was quite successful. For my flying type, flying type is no longer a staple now because Gen 7 has the Poker Ride function, just replacing HMs. At least this is the case in Sun and Moon. So you don't actually need a flying type for anything, but I decided I'd go with the generic bird anyway, so I went with the Pikipek. Evolved it into the very obvious Toucanon. This one I named Boaty Toucan, which is obviously the name of an emote that Boaty uses. And, like, as far as I'm aware, there's no real other name that you could really give to this thing that even remotely counts as sort of obligatory or whatever. I mean, you could probably name it after the toucan in George of the Jungle, but then again, I think its name was literally just Tukey or something like that. So you could probably just sort of stick with that as just like a shortened version of its real name, and so it wouldn't really be that original. But I imagine that there are a fair few people that have never actually heard of Boaty in general, let alone the Boaty Toucan emote, so there you go, now you know. I like how I sent Talia in against something that's clearly fire type, not that it matters because I just sort of have the Quick Claw there that does that. I'm quite thankful that the Kaiser didn't commit to the using of Surf there because it would have just done nothing but hurt Talia and I would have been pissed off. Okay, Bulbat actually needs to be revived. I don't have Tropius with me anymore, so I kind of just have to deal with it. God damn it. You know what? As annoying as this might be, I'm going to do it again. Good. That's how it should have ended last time, but for some reason it just didn't. And now y'all are getting freaking special swept by a Bulbat. That's what you get for running Quagsire. And so, last team member, I don't really have much to talk about with Toucanon aside from just... What the fuck are you on about? Whatever. Last team member was an Alolan Ninetales. Obviously because this Ninetales was completely different than its original counterpart in every way, shape and form, I determined it was well worth the use. And I don't very often use ice types in playthroughs. I say this having about to talk a little bit in depth about an obvious ice type that I used in this playthrough, and obviously the ice type I've got in this LP that you're watching right now. So, yay. I guess I'm just sort of picking up on that a bit more often, but whatever. I named this thing McFlurry after the dessert from McDonald's. Again, not very original, but I couldn't think of anything better, and it just sort of looked like something all flurry and shit. I don't know. I couldn't come up with a better name if I tried, so whatever. Just try not to roast me. Level 84 Magikarp. That is fucking excellent, and I outspeed it anyway. Level 93 Feebas. You know what the difference is here? This Feebas can quite potentially have other moves. It can learn TMs. This thing could kick my ass. Shit. Since when does Feebas get hypnosis? No. Alright, fine. This thing's only got Water Pulse and Tackle for attacking moves, so... there you go. That could have been a lot worse than it was, but it just didn't want to give it a good moveset, apparently. I'll need to pick that up a little bit later on, but I guess I will knock over this last trainer as I talk about Ninetales, and then probably just sort of end halfway here. I'll probably end up starting... I'll either start at the sped up section, or I will just, like, start at the PC, just sort of show off what I call it with Meridian Sound, and then go into the sped up section, so one of those two will happen next time, I guess. Fuck you and your fucking mirror coat, you stupid son of a bitch. Every time I see Sea King now, for some reason I just sort of immediately think that it might be a shiny. I have no idea why. They shouldn't be on just random trainers, but whatever. And I like how I just never ever talked about Ninetales. Okay, whatever. I will just end by saying Ninetales was not really much different stats-wise from its Fire-type counterpart. It was quick, it had good special attack, it had good type coverage with its Ice and Fairy Stab, and I think I also gave it, like... I think it also had extra sensory and Calm Mind. So it was basically the special sweeper of the team. There you go. That is the end of my Pokemon team collection thing. I don't ever have to bring that up again while talking about team members. And so next time maybe I'll talk about the next Pokemon playthrough of the day or whatever. I might be doing some fucking stupid thing in Fuchsia City. Lord knows what the fuck's gonna go on there, so I'm just gonna end because my commentary is just sort of starting to go down the drain again, and I'd rather that didn't actually happen. I will see you tomorrow. Apologies, this is kind of a shitty segment, but whatever.